The world is full of so much fake shit nowadays. You know, everybody is a great pretender, basically, at everything in their lives. Uh, Me being a decent example, but I guess not as fake as some of the things that you've probably seen on the internet or fake from just people, probably. I mean, I'd consider myself kind of like them. I am a pretty fake person. So, what I mean by fake is I'm I'm full of lies. I wear a mask every single day, um, and I'm kind of ashamed of it because it's kind of really holding me back in a way. I can't really do anything about it though, because if I do take off the mask, then I don't know what people will think of me. I kind of have to force the idea that I'm actually a decent person and everything's alright all the time. But in reality, I'm just, I'm a fool. I'm a liar. I'm a fraud. My friends can attest to that. You ask them what kind of person I am, they'll say I'm a nice person. And just like that, they'll believe that lie. I wish people kind of understood me more on a deeper level. I've had friends tell me that they're that they understand what I'm going through and things will be alright. But they have no idea, zero clue, what it's truly like to really be this low. And to be this low and to wear this mask is almost kind of humiliating in a way. You know, I always dreamed of being just some normal dude, for a long ass time. As a kid, I've never really had the idea of wanting to be anything else but just some normal guy from a normal family. You know, everybody here is always yelling and judging each other every single time. And, you know, every single day when I wake up and I hear everyone around me just be so negative, I've always kind of wondered if I was born into the wrong family. And not to say that I don't love my family. I love my mom, but she's all I have. Everybody else is kind of blinded with the idea of you know how they view the world, and it's not good because the world is so much different from since when they were doing that shit. You know, people go through a lot more shit now, and sometimes I wish I was born years before the modern era. You know, people say it'd be a boring life because there'd be no such thing as internet or anything. But to be honest, that's kind of something that I really crave. I don't want to be stuck glued onto a screen for who knows how long. Eventually at some point I want to sit down, stare at the sun, look at the mountains, as corny as it sounds. It's just what I think life's all about. I feel like at that point, exactly, you know, when I am at that point where I'm sitting down on some mountaintop in a foreign country and I can finally breathe in all the air, I think it'd be beautiful. I think at that point I'd find my peace, you know, because it's something I've long dreamed of. It's something I crave for every single day, you know, and I'm ashamed that it's something I didn't realize I really needed it until I grew older. When I was a kid, I took it for granted when my family took to the holidays and, we were on Puerto Rico, uh, my home island. I was just kind of staring at the window, looking at nothing. My eyes dazed, gazing into the distance, not even realizing that, life has so much more to it than just you being bored and wanting to go back on your screen. And I challenge that every day now. I sometimes don't even want to get online. But because of how lonely I've gotten, I guess, and how I always feel like I have no purpose on the outside world, so I just stay inside because, it's the only place where people are willing to talk to me and accept me. I never have a chance to just be the guy I dream of being in the real world. I wish it was just that's why I wish I was normal. I wish every single day I was just some normal kid. No anxiety, no depression, no nothing. Had the guts to walk up to somebody, ask them to be my friend or what their interests are, and make a relationship with them. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's whatever. But unfortunately for me, I have to look so deeply into it, even on a digital scale where the people barely know me at all in real life. I guess what they don't know is that the online version that they see of me is the IRL version of me. It's kind of weird to say. They kind of already see the person that I dream of being. Someone who's always craving to be open at times. At least with the mask on. Once that mask turns off, what am I? I'm nothing at all. Just another guy, sick and tired of life, wishing he was dead every day. But hey, what are you gonna do? I really hope, when all of this has come to an end, that there's more to life than just existing and that's it. I kind of wish there was proof of rebirth or reincarnation. Just so that way I know that maybe I get to try again actually be decent at this whole life thing. I guess the only thing that would suck is that you wouldn't remember it. And it's hard to believe that. I personally don't believe in God or anything, or heaven or hell. I'll tell you what, if it did, I'd probably be rotting in it with all the lies and deception I've done. And that's just, that's just reality. But if it is nothing, and it's just infinite nothing for eternity, I'd be okay with that too. I sometimes wake up wishing to just be gone forever. I like to believe that things are okay usually. And I've somehow made it this far. But sometimes I feel like I'm on my last stretch. I'm on my last piece of string, and if it gets cut, there's no telling what would happen. I believe I have 2 dreams. And if I don't make it to one, then the other one is guaranteed to happen. My goal is to find my peace. And if not, then I'm dead. I don't know how much longer I could go. I've severely regret everything. And for a very, very, very long time, I wish I was dead all the time. Because I know in the end nobody would really care, would they? I mean, people talk down to me so negatively, and they say these things that they care about me and stuff, and it's hard to believe because at the end of the day, I'm still sitting in my room alone, playing video games by myself, in silence, no one else around. So am I truly loved? I guess not.